Hello and welcome to the Venusian Codex. Tonight we're going to be feeling into the energy of Venus in Libra, and we'll walk through that archetype, and then we'll also go sign by sign and talk about how this transit may affect you based on your sun and your rising sign. And then we're going to go into a bit of a guided meditation and activation with those themes in mind based on your signs. And then I'm going to share with you an upcoming offer that I have. Quite a few of you signed up, so I'm so excited for you to get the replay if you're not on, and thank you to those who are able to join tonight. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown of what we're going to do. And if you brought materials with you, like a candle or some crystals and a glass of water, we're going to rope those into the activation toward the end. So if you don't have those things in front of you, no worries at all. But if you do, we'll definitely have some instruction around them in just a bit. So first, I want to talk about working with Venus in general. Venus is both a planetary archetype and a divine deity across many pantheons, right? So Venus herself is the Roman goddess of love and beauty and passion. We see those echoes in Aphrodite, basically just the Greek version of the exact same deity. But then we also see those ripples in Lakshmi and even in Isis, really, and Freya as well. And so, yeah, just really feeling into that divine feminine archetype of all things beautiful and gorgeous and luxurious and passionate and feminine and mystical. So when we work with Venus, we're evoking the energy of those deities, that divine feminine archetype, but then also the celestial body Venus, a planet of feminine energy, right? So the Venusian archetype is beauty, love, embodied passion, femininity, fertility, luxury, pleasure, and romance. The planet spends a little less than 1 month in each sign in the zodiac, journeying through the entire zodiac in about 225 days. So this makes Venus one of the faster moving planets, but still gives us enough time to really sit with and embody the energy of that archetype, right? Whereas like working with the moon for feminine energy, the moon moves so rapidly, spending only 2 to 3 days in each sign. So that it's not as stable, it's not as grounded to work with the moon representing the divine feminine in that way. So when I kind of shifted my attention from the moon to Venus, my embodiment of these divine feminine codes became a lot more a lot more embodied, a lot more sturdy, a lot more reliable. And then the moon just kind of like amplifies these things, gives us portals and windows of distinct power with the really potent lunations, especially the quarter moon. So first quarter, full, last quarter, new. So when we track Venus moving through the zodiac, what we can do is understand where these Venusian energies are impacting our lives. So Venus entered Libra, where she is currently, on September 29th. So like just about a week ago. And she'll remain in this air sign until October 23rd. And then she'll cross into those watery depths of Scorpio. And I'll be having a call on that too. And we'll talk about that in just a bit. But Venus in Libra is actually a great time to begin to incorporate Venusian energy into your practice and into your life, because Venus rules the sign of Libra. So when Venus is in Libra, she feels right at home, expressing herself fully and clearly. Now, Venus also rules Taurus. And when Venus does roll around to Taurus, we'll have another call. But the expression of these Venusian codes and these signs does differ, despite the fact that she's at home in both of these signs. Libra is a lot more like on this level of aesthetic and energetic, and it's a little more heady, and it's a little more intellectual, it's a little more conversational. And then when Libra is in Taurus, that energy is a bit more grounded, right? Taurus is an earth sign. This is about creature comforts, this is about the physical experience, whereas Libra is about like pleasing the mind. Taurus is a bit more about pleasing the body, right? So I tend to think that the energies that we associate with Venus are a little almost interchangeable with the energies that we associate with Libra, right? So Venus resonating in her fullest extent right at home. Venus in Libra is the epitome of romance, harmony, peace, balance. It's luxurious, it's committed, and it's very much about right relationship, right? Libra is about justice. Libra really wants things to be fair and balanced and just. Yeah, so a really beautiful time to begin to work with Venus. So let's get into what this transit means for each sign. So we're going to be going through all 12 zodiac signs, and you want to pay close attention to what your sun and rising sign are, what those messages are for you. You can look at your moon sign if it's resonating for you, but essentially I read charts in whole sign. So by rising sign, that makes your rising sign your first house, this house of self. But there's also something called solar houses. And so the astrologer that I kind of mentor under, Virginia Rosenberg, she explained to me that the way solar houses work is that sometimes it's more how we have direct experience with the transit. So while our rising sign horoscope coming up it can be felt, it can be embodied, it can be accessed. A lot of times when we pay attention to the solar aspect, that's a little bit more expressive, it's a little bit more experiential. But I think it's important to pay attention to both, and that's why I included them this way. So first up is Aries, of course, just going right in order. So I like to take things from the practical into the energetic. So if you are not fluent in astrology lingo, this is a really good way to start to develop that sensibility here. So we're going to talk about what house this transit is falling in, what realm that activates in your life, and then a mantra for each of these signs. So with Aries in the first house, this makes Libra your seventh house. And the seventh house is the house of relationship, of intimacy, of romance, love, commitment, and interdependence. The seventh house is ruled by Libra. So this Aries sun and Aries rising is really experiencing this transit in its purest form, right? Not only is it in the sign that Venus resonates with the most, it's in the house that Venus resonates with the most, right? This is Venus's domain, relationship, intimacy, right? These are our most intimate relationships. That's the realm of the seventh house. This is about the people who know you completely down to the soul. These don't necessarily have to be romantic connections. These are about the people who truly know you. And we can have platonic connections like that, of course, but it does include those intimate relationships as well. I also see for Aries sun and rising this being a lesson in interdependence. So when we think about the realm being activated here, Venus is kind of a portal for Aries sun and Aries rising to tap into how they want to show up in relationship, how they want other people to show up in relationship for them, right? How do you want to feel in partnership? What kind of partnership do you want? How do you want to be loved? And how do you want to express that love? And so the mantra that I'm recommending for this transit, and again, this is going to last us through October 23rd until our next call when Venus moves into Scorpio. This mantra that I recommend working with is I embody compassion and infuse love into my connections. So next up is Taurus Sun and Taurus Rising. Venus in Libra is in your 6th house, and this is activating the realm for you of health, wellness, routine, the body, especially our digestion. This is about devotion, service. This is about priestessing and ritualizing our days. Taurus, Sun, and Rising, this is a time for you to release judgment around how you've been taking up time, how you've been moving through your life, the things that you've been meaning to do each day, the things that you haven't gotten done on your to-do list. This is about kind of granting yourself some forgiveness there, but then also stepping into this space of devotion to yourself and to your life to determine what is a healthy flow in the day-to-day. How do you want to take care of yourself in that way? And this is both on the embodied plane, like taking care of our literal body, the food, the water that we put into our system, the medicines that we put into our system, but then also what we do in our realm, how we take care of our home, how we take care of our work. It's about like energetic hygiene in a sense, right? So the mantra that I'm recommending here, as you step into this like new way of devotion, this new way of showing up in these realms of health, wellness, routine, service, is I tend the temple of myself, both the inner and outer realms. So up next, we have Gemini Sun and Gemini Rising. So for Gemini, Venus in Libra is in your 5th house, and this is the realm of pleasure, expression, spotlight, attention, the inner child, and adoration. This is the heart. This is that electromagnetic field. This is your resonance and your radiance in a big way, how you're seen and how you wish to be seen. And Venus rolling in here is offering and extending love and compassion to you in this realm. This is about falling in love with your expression and allowing other people to do the same. I think that, a lot of times people with strong Gemini placements can be kind of in their head, overthinking. One of the things that I say about both Gemini and Libra is that, they kind of get this reputation for being like a little indecisive or flighty, and they're air signs, so it makes sense. But I think that really what is witnessed for me with Gemini and Libra is that you're constantly taking in new information and adjusting the way that you move through the world, the way that you think, the way that you speak to kind of meet that new information where it is and how it is, and meet the truth in that way. And sometimes that does mean changing your mind, and so I think sometimes you can get a little in your head with strong Gemini placements, especially Sun and Rising, about how you're coming across and how you're being received and how you wish to be received and what you're trying to communicate. And it can get a little tangled. I mean, that can happen for anybody. But this Venus and Libra time for you, Gemini, is a time to extend yourself so much compassion in that realm, really fall in love with the way that you express yourself. And this isn't just about communication. communication. It's about the energy that you evoke when you walk into a room, right? It's just how you radiate, period. It does encompass communication. That's a really important factor for Gemini in general, but it's about the way you move. It's about the way that you resonate, right? And so the mantra that I see for Gemini in this time is, I allow myself to be seen and to be adored. So up next, we have Cancer Sun and Cancer Rising. Venus in Libra is in your 4th house. This is the realm of home, roots, the ancestors, your comfort zone, family, your emotional body, as well as past lives and karma, what we're carrying with us, what is stored in that root, how are we being informed by this past, by this root? And so this is a time for healing that transcends time. This is a time for limitless compassion, not just for ourselves, but for our ancestors, for our lineage, forward and backward through time. This is about how healing isn't linear, and neither is time. So the work that we are doing here and now is blessing our ancestors the same way our ancestors blessed us. And so this is a time that this planet of love and beauty and divine feminine mystique is rolling through to help you access this magnificent healing power. So the mantra that I've put forward for Cancer is, my love is interdimensional, healing forward and backward through time. Up next is Leo Sun and Leo Rising. Venus in Libra, Leo, is in your 3rd house. This is the realm of communication, the voice, it's channeling, it's sharing, it's your contribution, it's your heart song, it's your authenticity coming forward and coming through. And this is really important to Leo energy, which is very expressive in the first place, right? This is about really tapping into your authentic message that you're here to share. And with Venus being about divine feminine healing, about the magic that lies within femininity, this is about limitless compassion, limitless healing power. And so this energy rolling through your 3rd house is healing everything to do with our communicative expression. This is about, similar to the themes that I was talking about with Gemini, this is about healing your relationship to your voice, healing your relationship to conversation, the way that you show up in the world in that way. There was this, like, when I was growing up, so maybe for you too, there was this whole like trope of, oh, I hate the way I sound on recording. And I said that so many times, especially as like a young teen, like 13, 14, I had this idea that not only should I hate the way that my voice sounds, but it was almost like a cute thing to say. And kind of growing into myself and coming into myself, and my Chiron is in Leo. So this is something that I'm working on all the time, this expression. But what I realized is that's a trap. And I talk about this a lot in my one-on-one client readings, and it's really resonant for them too. This whole idea of like, oh, I hate the way my voice sounds. I don't like to listen to myself talk. And it's like, how damaging to our most authentic expression to have that be the norm, you know? And so these themes for Gemini and Leo, this Venus transit, is to kind of take ourselves out of that, you know? And so my challenge to both of those placements really is to kind of, my hack for it, the way that I worked through it, and this is what I just recommend to everybody that this comes up with, is record yourself talking about something that you love, about something that you are passionate about and you have wisdom about and you are just riled up about and excited about, record it and then listen to it back and ask yourself, if you find yourself going, oh God, why did I say that? Or why do I sound that way? Or I don't like the sound of that. Ask yourself, would you be having these thoughts if you were listening to someone else speak? Would you be so judgmental if you were just scrolling online, you come across a TikTok, somebody's sharing exactly what you're sharing? Would you have those type of judgmental thoughts about them? And that can kind of teach us like a lot of self-compassion. And so that's a exercise that would be like really powerful for both Gemini and Leo this transit, to kind of bring that compassion to the forefront as you're healing this, a lot of throat chakra work there. And so anyway, I digress. The mantra here that came through is, my voice is a powerful antidote to all that ails me. So really calling for a reframe of that authentic expression. Up next is Virgo Sun and Virgo Rising. Venus in Libra is in your second house. So this is the realm of resources, money, supportive structures, comfort, and soul food. Not just the food that we eat, but everything that feeds the soul, everything that, and I would say also a little bit of like, almost like modest luxury, right? Like I feel like Libra is like luxury, right? And this house, which is typically affiliated with Taurus energy, the second house, this is a little bit more about like more like understated luxury, like comfort as a luxury, right? All the things that make you feel like really, really well taken care of and resourced. So this is a time to offer yourself like forgiveness and love and compassion in these realms. Decide that you love the way that you support yourself, that you love the way that you are supported. And if you don't, if you don't feel those things, feel into how we can remedy that, right? Like if you're making money in a way that doesn't feel supportive to you, whether that's because you just don't resonate with your job, or it's because you aren't being paid well enough for your expertise and your energy, find ways to massage that. We're out of retrograde. We're technically, or Mercury retrograde. We're technically like in the shadow period right now as I'm recording this. I think it's October 7th. But the time is coming to have conversations with, like your employer, if that money making isn't feeling good. And this Venus transit is a good time to feel into that and make those adjustments where it's needed in a way that is holistic, in a way that is understanding, not necessarily demanding, but confident, right, in those conversations. But it's a good time to infuse love and forgiveness and compassion into these structures. So I went on a little bit about work, but this is also about our home. This is about our bank account. This is about opening your bank account, and like no matter what number you see when you open it, you say, God, I'm so grateful for everything that I've spent my money on, right? This is an act of paying a bill and seeing it as a portal of power. Like, wow, isn't it incredible that I get to pay this bill right now with the money that abundantly supports me, right? And this is a good time to kind of put that into practice. And the point of working with these Venus transits is not just that we do this while Venus is in this sign, but that we bring these practices into our life and repeat them so that they become new habits. We build new belief systems surrounding these realms of life, and we carry them with us even after this transit is complete, right? So yeah, Virgo Sun, Virgo Rising, really revolutionizing through the lens of the divine feminine, our resources, and remembering that Venus is also about fertility. So in this sense, like not just biological, in this sense, this is about abundance. This is about prosperity, right? So it's a good time to feel into how you can open to more income, how you can open to more abundance through every thread of life, not just money. So the mantra here is, I am abundantly supported. Prosperity reigns. All right, Libra sun and Libra rising here in Libra season. So happy birthday to all the Libra suns. Venus in Libra is in your first house. This is the realm of self, identity, appearance, and impressions. This is who we are when we walk out into the world, right? This is how we are seen and often how we see ourselves. So Venus in Libra for you is a time to offer yourself so much love. This is self-love through and through and through and through. This is about treating yourself to like a luxurious bubble bath, and treating yourself to like slow, juicy, sexy movement, and treating yourself to anything that makes you feel a little decadent. This is about luxurious self-love. And really offering yourself that love and compassion and forgiveness in a way that you haven't before. What judgments do you hold against yourself, and how can you forgive yourself for them, right? How can you release those? This is the perfect time to step into deep love for yourself. So a really beautiful time, especially right on your solar return. Yeah, so almost like a rebirth in that sense too, being reborn through Venus. So the mantra here for Libra sun and Libra rising is, divine love is my lifeblood, flowing through me and into the world. So up next, Scorpio sun and Scorpio rising. Venus in Libra is in your 12th house. This is the realm of closure, finality, death, and martyrdom and sacrifice. It's about closing karmic cycles. It's also about empathy and dream and magic. This is a liminal space. This is the in-between, right? This is the psychic realm. This is the astral plane. So Venus in Libra here is really offering yourself forgiveness and like karmic contracts, karmic debt, like this realm of what we've carried with us through this experience of life so far and the lives that we've lived before. Really kind of allowing ourselves to clean the slate the best that we can. This is an ongoing practice. I don't necessarily think that because I said this to you one time and you tried really hard, you're just going to be clear of all karmic contracts that you've ever signed that aren't serving you. This is ongoing work, right? But at the same time, because healing isn't linear and healing is a quantum practice, this is really powerful to do in this time for you. Venus in your 12th house gives you this like magnification of forgiveness here, this magnification of rebirth energy, of fertile energy, of loving energy. And so this is the perfect time to offer yourself this opportunity to release, to move into dream state, to let go of the things that are holding you back from living fully in that power, to allow things that aren't serving you to die off and to honor that death and grieve that death as you need to let those karmic cycles close rather than get sucked back into them. Knowing that when Venus rolls into Scorpio next on October 23rd, she'll be illuminating your first house. So a full rebirth. This is the time to tie up loose ends in that sense. This is the closing of a Venusian cycle for you. So really allowing yourself to do that work. So the mantra here is, I lovingly release the karmic contracts that no longer serve my highest destiny and the life of my dreams. Up next is Sagittarius, Sun, and Rising. So Venus in Libra is in your 11th house if you're a Sagittarius Sun or Rising. And this is the realm of community, of blessings, of what we have to offer and how we show up, of eccentricity, and it's otherworldly, right? This is about really letting Venus revolutionize your sense of community, your sense of being held, of being received and witnessed and honored by the people around you. Sagittarian energy is it's very social. It's also about wisdom. I think a lot of times, like when we think of Sagittarian energy, like in pop culture astrology, a lot of times what's focused on is that kind of like I don't know, like the party vibe that Sagittarius can have, the kind of like, like I'm a Sag moon, so I say this all with so much love, but like the party vibe, the more like unhinged vibe, the social vibe, the chatty vibe. But a thing to remember with Sagittarian energy is that there's also this like expansive quest for wisdom and understanding. It's a very philosophical sign. It's part of why they're so chatty, is because we're so engaged in what other people think and believe. It's so intriguing. And so this is a time to really look at how you've been holding yourself back from sharing these things that you are wise about, that you are an expert in, that excite you and inspire you, and seeing these as blessings, seeing these things as blessings to your community, and allowing your community to receive them. Sometimes, like if we are not fully in our magic in that way, we won't even bring these offerings, bring ourselves and presence ourselves fully in our community. And not only are we depriving ourselves, but we're depriving our community when we do that. And so this is a time to extend love to yourself, to the way that you show up, and to the people around you, and recognize the value that you bring. And so that leads me to the mantra here, which is, I honor the value I bring to community just by being myself. Just by knowing the things that I know and loving the things that I love, there's intrinsic value there. And so this is a time to really offer that healing and love, and let that shine a little brighter. Up next is Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Rising. Venus in Libra is in your 10th house if you're a Capricorn. This is the realm of public role, of profession and career path, of wealth, of supportive structures, and of plans and goals. And so this is a time to kind of like reevaluate this realm, look at the ways that you have been maybe judging yourself, maybe holding yourself to too high or too low of a standard, believing in yourself too little, of being too harsh or too loose with yourself. Though Capricorn, Sun, and Rising, you're probably erring on the side of being too hard on yourself. Let's be real. Cap Stellium here, reporting for duty. Let's just say it. You're probably being a little too hard on yourself. And this is a time to extend that love and forgiveness and compassion to yourself, to recognize all of your accomplishments. Like, look at what you've done in your lifetime, not just in your career, but certainly there with Venus rolling through your 10th house. Look at all the things that you've done for the world. And this can be like, we can track this impact, not just through our literal work, but also just through the way that we show up. Every time you've made someone's day better by smiling at them, every time you've left a good tip for the barista that's made their day a little better, this is still wrapped into that public role, right? The role that we play in public. So this is a time to no longer diminish your impact in the world, to really honor all of the ways that you show up and take care of the people around you. However that looks, whether you make money off of it or not. But it's also a time to heal that money relationship. I think I've talked about this a few times at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and recommend like a couple of resources that I've loved. The first is You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. That book, I feel like I recommend to basically anyone. Rich as Fuck by Amanda Francis is a book that I do recommend. I got a lot out of it, but it's definitely very much geared toward the feminine. And it is also, I don't know. I feel like I was not triggered by Rich as Fuck, but if gendering is something that you just don't want to be involved in, or she kind of moves through the world in a way that is like not oblivious to the fact that something she says might be triggering, but almost kind of in that sense of like not like knowing it, but thinking that it's medicine. And I do find it medicinal. I want to be clear. I loved the book. But if you're sensitive in those realms, I don't necessarily recommend it to you. You can get just as much out of You Are a Badass at Making Money. But I do recommend those two tools, if only for the journal prompts. They both, in both of these texts, they ask some questions that really get you thinking about your relationship to money. And so what was the other sign that this was about? It would have been second house. So Virgo, I think it would have been. I was talking about second house resources. So if you are a Virgo or a Capricorn, this is a good time to like work on that money mindset, right? To sit with those types of questions, to look at the way that you're bringing income in your life, and kind of adjust accordingly, offer yourself abundant love in those spaces. In the work that I've been doing around my own money mindset, what I've come to realize is that abundance is love. It's not to say that if you don't have a shit ton of money that you don't love yourself enough. Like the world is a lot more nuanced than that. It's more complicated than that, especially under like patriarchal capitalism. But like the point is that when we are abundant in love, when we are abundant in compassion, when we can attract that physical abundance. We can attract that material wealth from that state. Like attracts like, plain and simple. So yeah. All right. Money mindset, Virgo and Capricorn, let's go. So the mantra that came through for Capricorn is engaging in the material realm gets to feel good. I trust in my natural abundant state. Aquarius sun and Aquarius rising, Venus in Libra is in your 9th house. This is the realm of destiny and expansion, wisdom seeking and wisdom sharing, about passion, interest, philosophy, and soul purpose. So this is a time to just extend that Venusian energy, use that Venusian glow to bring light into that soul purpose, into that destiny, to reflect on how far you've come in your path, all of the things that you've done that have been dreams, all of the things that you have learned, all of the things that you have shared, and really honor that. I feel like here Aquarius is like another one that I would recommend, that recording yourself talking about something that you love and listening to it back and just realizing how well resourced you are in your wisdom, how wise you sound. This is about eldership, right? Sagittarius initiates what I see as, so Sagittarius is 9th house. That's why I said that. ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th houses are the elder houses, just like Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces are the elder signs. They're the final signs of those elements, right? The final fire, so on and so forth. And so this is about becoming an elder, no matter how old you are. What are you an expert in, right? Especially this time with Venus and Libra for Aquarius, it's very much about honoring your own eldership, even if you're a baby elder. Yeah, so the mantra that came through here is, I align with my destiny. I walk this wisdom way with bliss. Because Venus is about pleasure and enjoyment. Like this, I've kind of been naming like working with these, like, you know, not necessarily like shadow topics, but it's certainly like this deep work. But it's to make the goal is to make this deep work feel good, right? The goal is to make this deep work easier. So walking this wisdom way with bliss, Aquarius sun and Aquarius rising. And finally, we have Pisces sun and Pisces rising. So Venus in Libra is in your 8th house. So this is an intense realm of sex, of death, transformation, of rebirth. This holds the codes of Isis. This is about other people's resources. This is the depths, the shadow. And so Pisces sun and Pisces rising, this Venusian transit for you is a time to feel into the ways that you can allow yourself to be reborn, to feel into the ways that you can allow yourself to transform. Similar to what we talked about with Scorpio, these themes are similar. This is about how you can or rather what you can release to allow yourself to be reborn. This is about what's already being reborn within you, right? I mean, this is also about sex magic, right? This is also about like the divine sensuality. This is tantra. This is stepping into that enchantress energy, into into this like deep sensuality as well. But I think in terms of doing the deep work, this is much more about transformation, this transit, like where I would focus personally. And so the mantra that came through is, I allow myself to be lovingly reborn. It gets to feel good to release and realign. Okay, so lots of information. Let's see. Okay, beautiful. So we're about 50 minutes in, and now we're just going to kind of integrate what we've talked about so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my camera off, and we are going to go through a bit of a meditation and activation. So first, getting comfortable where you're sitting or where you're laying, or softening your gaze if you're listening to this as you do tasks around. And maybe if you can, just take a seat and settle in for just a few minutes. If you have candles or crystal allies or herbal allies around you, this is a good time to bring those in. So light those candles if you have them, thinking about the intentions that we've gone over, the mantras and the themes that we've addressed so far. Arranging your crystals in a way that feels good. And if you don't have these physical tokens in front of you, remembering that those are just tools. So if you don't have a candle in front of you, just settling in, closing your eyes, and recognizing that we have all 5 elements in our bodies: earth, air, fire, water, spirit, and bringing the focus to that flame. So either as you have this flame in your mind's eye, or you light this candle in front of you, taking a moment here to reflect on your intentions for this transit, the mantras and the energies that resonated with you as we spoke. Where is your area of focus here? What are you offering love and devotion to? And just letting the flame know that, either by thinking of it, speaking into it in your mind, or aloud. And if your eyes are not already closed, just closing them down. Let's take 5 deep breaths together. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Really allowing that breath to cascade down the front and the back of the heart. Last one together here. Now steadying into whatever breathing rhythm is natural for you. And bringing your attention to the very base of your spine, right at the tip. And noticing that as you exhale, you can extend golden roots down from the base of your spine, down through the floor and into the earth. And with each exhale, each grounded breath allows these roots to grow deeper and deeper into the earth, into the mineral-rich soil, past crystalline caverns, each breath growing deeper and deeper, past water reservoirs, the bones of our ancestors, deeper and deeper into the earth. And maybe with this next exhale, these roots meet the core of this earth, the thrumming heart, liquid gold. I'm even seeing a sapphire at the center there today in my mind's eye, allowing these golden roots to wrap themselves around, to entwine, to intermingle with the energy here at the core of this earth, fastening themselves there for a moment. And beginning to breathe into the loving heart of Gaia here. And now, with each inhale, breathing this groundedness, this earthen love into our system, rising up through the roots that we've grown. We're going to draw this energy up with each inhale. This energy grows closer to our bodies with each breath. Back up the root system, carrying these earthen codes, this Gaian love. And maybe with this next inhale, this energy lands in your root chakra, reminding you just how supported you are always here. As a child of Gaia, seated here for a divine purpose. And this next inhale brings this energy fully into our sacral chakra. This is the energetic womb space in every body, reminding you just how capable of creation you are, how fertile your efforts are. what you're truly capable of. Breathing in again. This energy lands in the solar plexus, just under the rib cage, reminding you how powerful you are, how genuinely divine your expression is, how influential your presence is here and now. Another inhale. This energy lands in the heart. And every breath we take from here forward, every heartbeat flows this energy through our veins, nourishing every single cell in our miraculous being with this energy, while also radiating through our electromagnetic field. Let's feel into this field here, the center point, our heart, of a million of limitless circles, creating a sphere outward from our heart, all around, surrounding us. This is our innate resonance that can grow in power, grow in expansiveness. And so what if here, through our inhales, we expand our electromagnetic resonance? And so here in your mind's eye, envisioning that with each breath, this glowing, shimmering orb that's surrounding you right now, can you picture it? This glowing, shimmering orb is going to grow with each inhale. So with this inhale, we'll envision this glimmering sphere to be the size of our entire room. Filling the space that we're in with divine light. And with this next breath, it expands outward, maybe filling the entire building that we're in. Imagine your love just that large. Breathing here and steadying that radiance. Let's expand it outward again. Pushing past the confines of physical space, out into the air, down into the earth, into the waters even. Breathing here and seeing how far your resonance can reach right now. How much love you have to radiate. How much love gets to cycle out and return back into your heart center. Because the beautiful thing about this electromagnetic field, the beautiful thing about our resonance, the beautiful thing about our love is that it doesn't return to us diminished or tainted. It returns to us in perfect form. Just as we send it out, we receive it. Allowing this love to illuminate, to heal, to radiate. And maybe allowing this resonance to reach Venus, whether that's expanding all the way out into the cosmos, or whether that's inviting Venus here to you now. Praying for guidance, in the ways that we can offer ourselves compassion, divine forgiveness, and love and love and love. The ways that we can grow past our own limitations, our old limitations, the ways that we can transcend into the state of our dreams, into the life that we mean to be living. Allowing Venus to show us how we can use devotion as a tool to improve our day-to-day life, to improve our community, and ultimately to heal the world. To raise the vibration, to raise the frequency, so that this energy that we feel right now in our hearts is accessible to everyone as easy as breathing. As an automatic response to being here on Earth, this love is accessible. Venus is here to help us do that, to live into that, to experience that. Breathing into that here. And now just a few silent moments for you to recall the realms of life that Venus is here to guide and aid you in. Whether those are the mantras that I shared, the realms that I spoke into on this call, or whether they're things that are simply on your heart. So just a moment for private prayer. Taking a deep inhale here. Knowing that this portal that we've opened here to this Venusian energy is always accessible to us. And it's a quantum activation that will continue to integrate. We will continue to learn from and continue to experience even as we go along in our day-to-day. So holding that intention and giving so much thanks to the Venusian presence here for us now and always. As we start to take grounding breaths and breathe back into our body, land more fully here. So deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Starting to bring some movement into the body, whether it's wiggling your fingers and toes, taking some intuitive stretches. Beginning to notice the way that the light is already filtering in through your eyelids before you allow them to float open and allow yourself to re-presence yourself. And now if you have a glass of water, it's a great time to just kind of take an intentional moment with water, which is programmable. If you haven't read Messages from Water in the Universe by Masaru Emoto, I highly recommend it. But just a reminder that water can be spoken to just as we spoke to the flame. So just taking an intentional moment with this water here, recalling your experience with Venus just now, and taking a few sips when it feels aligned or if it feels aligned. Allowing that hydration to re-presence yourself even more as we come back into this physical realm and into this online presence, onto this call, onto this video. So I'm going to restart my video. I have a few more things to share before I hop off the presentation mode and stop the recording. So yeah, let's see. So everything that we've done tonight is something that I want to do every month. And so this is the basis of the Venusian Temple, which is my new membership. And if you've been with me for a while, you might remember when I had the Crystalline Coven. This is the way that this membership has grown and evolved through me. So the Venusian Temple is my new membership offer. We're going to be doing things like Venusian transmissions, themed guided meditations. Like, for example, this month we're going to be doing eclipse transmissions. I have ones planned for Lemuria and Atlantis and different star systems. Monthly ritual gifts, either handmade by me or someone that I know and adore, or crystals, depending on like what the energetics are of that month. Monthly one-on-one sessions with me, as well as discounts on all of my offerings, whether that's one-on-one sessions or in the ritual shop. Yeah, so the temple doors are going to open to the public in just a few days on Monday, but everyone on this call or watching this replay is going to get first access. And the benefit of that is that the first 3 people to sign up on each tier get an early bird rate. And everyone who signs up before our Venusian Enchantress call, which is when Venus enters into Scorpio, everyone who signs up before that date is going to receive a free 30-minute one-on-one session with me, no matter what tier you sign up for. And soon, being in the temple will be the only way to work one-on-one. That is my eventual goal and plan for the way that I show up in business, in my business, is that I will only be working one-on-one with the folks who are called to do this work, to really show up in devotion to themselves and to soul purpose, and to just like doing the work of raising that vibrational state of the planet. That's what I'm here to do, and that is like my ideal one-on-one work. So yeah, that's the ultimate vision. So just wanted to place that here intentionally as well. That soon the only way to work with me one-on-one will be to either be in a class or be in the temple. So just wanted to run through the tiers quickly with y'all. The book club is something that my Astral Code students expressed interest in, so I've placed it here. This tier includes a monthly book club call, as well as the 22% off discount and access to anything that I post only in Patreon. We're going to start with You Were Born for This by Chani Nicholas. It's a good like Astro one-on-one text, or Astro 101, excuse me, text that I adore. And that's the book that they wanted to start with. So here we are. The next tier is the one that I highly recommend. It includes those book club calls, but it's also it's called Venusian Initiate. And it includes both the Venusian activations that happen every time Venus changes signs, we have a call. But then also these monthly activations, these themed guided meditations like Lemuria or a Lyran transmission or whatever it might be that month, depending on the energetics and what's resonating and moving through me, as well as like those other things that were in the lower tier. So 22% off discount, access to those writings. And this has an early bird rate of only $33. So the first 3 people lock in that monthly rate for the duration of your membership. The next tier is called Embodied Starlight. And so this includes everything from the previous tiers, so those monthly calls and all of that gorgeousness, but then also, if you're in the United States, a monthly ritual gift shipped to you. And if you're not in the United States, I don't necessarily recommend this tier, but if you go 1 tier up for that one-on-one session, we can work something out to have like equal value provided to you, since you won't be receiving that monthly gift, just because international shipping is insanity right now. But for US residents, shipping is included. So these can be like or a rose quartz tower. This month is going to be a hand-dressed candle set to kind of anchor into the Venusian codes. It could also be like a burning bundle and some selenite, like whatever is feeling like gorgeous and juicy and perfect for you. Yeah, so that early bird rate is $55 a month. It includes that ritual item and shipping, and then everything else that we've talked about. And then finally, Deep Mystique, where you'll get everything that we've talked about so far, including that ritual gift, as well as a 45-minute one-on-one session. And this can be used for an astrology reading, an oracle reading, general like spiritual coaching. It can be used as Reiki, as energy work. It can be used as like transmission from your guides, guided meditation, just whatever you're needing that month. And I think that this is such an incredible way to honor yourself and treat yourself to being cared for a little, you know. Everybody has the opportunity to offer themselves tremendous healing, tremendous insight through giving themselves readings, through giving themselves Reiki, 100%. But there's really something to being held. And it's what I've really been reminded of these last couple months working with a coach, because I've been kind of like DIYing it for quite some time. Like for the last year, I haven't really been receiving services from other people. But I was reminded in working with Shannon Rose that it's really nice to have someone hold space for you and really be in your corner. And that's what I'm so excited to provide to those who resonate with this offer. Yeah, so I'm really excited about the temple. Every time I talk about it, I just get this like wave of bliss. And so I'm so happy to finally be sharing it with you. So this month in the Venusian Temple, just as a rundown, we're going to have 2 live calls. The first, or actually, I don't really know what order I'm going to do them in. The dates aren't 100% locked in yet, but they will be soon. Venusian Enchantress, a Venus and Scorpio transmission, as well as an eclipse season transmission. So kind of talking about this one will probably be sooner than later, actually, the eclipse one. Talking about these upcoming eclipses and what the overall themes are for them and how we can be hold ourselves through them and allow ourselves to be held through them, through the lens of not just those moons, but also through the lens of Venus, because hello, it's called the Venusian Temple for a reason. It's also going to include that hand-dressed Venusian candle set if you are in those tiers that receive that monthly gift. And for anyone who signs up, no matter what tier, even if it's the book club, you get a one-on-one, if you sign up before 10/23, so before this Venusian Enchantress call, you will receive a one-on-one session with me, just as a little bonus and a thank you for joining me. So yeah, so I will be sending out the link when I send out the replay, and we'll have all the information there for you. And yeah, I'm so excited to be doing this work. It feels like the most aligned that my offerings have ever felt in my business since I started in 2020. And I'm just so grateful to be opening these doors and to have you here, whether you've been able to join on the live call or if you're watching the replay. Or if you're listening to the podcast, because I'm going to throw this on Venusian Visions as well and on the YouTube channel. So yeah, just so grateful and so excited. So I'm going to stop the share and the recording, and we can kind of chat and see how all this is resonating. Well, there.